What's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho, and I'm back from Mexico. If you guys watched my earlier video, my dual comm with Protagonist, you would know that for the past 3 days I have been down at Mexico doing some missionary work, and I have, very gladly to say, I have returned safe and sound from Mexico, so I'm glad to be back. And for this video I'd like to talk about what I did down there and down in Mexico. And before I get into that though, I'd like to tell you guys what this gameplay is about, in case you haven't been watching the video for the past however many seconds it's been, 40 seconds. This game is a sniper only gameplay on Death Room. It's actually quite old, back, as you can tell, back in the day when I actually did have my L9 super rank before it expired, like right there. And yeah, this is 140 kills, my final score, so I don't forget, and so I don't forget at the end of this video. My final score is 38 and 24, and hope you guys like the gameplay if you don't want to listen to this commentary. But for this video, I'll be talking about my trip down to Mexico because I feel that it's important for me to share what I've experienced down there with you guys, with my subscribers. If you guys don't agree with it, then you don't have to watch this video. But for the time being, I'll talk about what I've done down there. So on Thursday morning, I woke up early and went down to my church where we were prepping up to go down to Mexico. And we stayed at our church for maybe a good hour and a half maybe, just waiting for everyone to get ready, and we started down there. And we went down, there were about 30 people, I guess, going down there. Our ministry at our church is pretty big. I don't know how like big a ministry is supposed to be, but for you fellow Christians out there, you guys can tell me how big your ministries are too. But we had about 30 people going down to Mexico in total. And oh, that was just kids though. If we include all the chaperones, we include all the ministers, there it was around like 40 something, and we had to take at least 4 or 5 vans. So we had a lot of people going down, and I like that. Last time I went on like a missionary trip, it involved me and only like 4 other people going down to Guatemala and doing some volunteer work down there. And maybe I'll talk about my experience in Guatemala in another video. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll even talk about it in this video. But we'll see. But for right now, that my trip down to Guatemala, if you guys want to hear about it, that was a year ago, and I'll talk about it in another video if you guys want. So on Thursday morning, we went down to the border. It took us about 3 hours to get down to past San Diego into California and the Mexican border. And I had slept all the way because I'm not a very good traveler, to be honest. Usually when I get into like a very long road trip, nice knife kill, and usually when I get on this really long road trip, I usually knock out in the car. I don't know if you guys do that too, but I have a really tough time keeping myself awake in the cars down to wherever we're going. If it's like a 2-hour plus trip, then it's really hard for me to stay awake. Anyways, so we went down to the border. We managed to get in with no problem, because the thing about going into foreign nations or foreign countries is that it's really easy, especially in Mexico, it's really easy to go into Mexico. So the process to actually go into Mexico was really simple. We only spent like 10-15 minutes at the border checkpoints, but coming out was hard. Yeah, I know, that's what she said, but I'll talk about that when time comes, because we spent like over an hour at the border checkpoint. It was it sucked, to be honest, but that's for another time. Anyways, we crossed the border, and we spent a good maybe hour more, maybe 2 hours, going down to the actual house that we were staying in. And once we got there, we unloaded. We helped everyone kind of set up, get their sleeping bags, get their backpacks, whatnot, because they were really strict. Because they were really strict on what we could bring. Actually kind of unpacking and setting up our beds, sleeping bags, whatnot, was really easy. We could only take, like, I think the rule was we could only take 1 backpack and a sleeping bag. That was it. So baggage was never a problem for us. And after we had set up, what did we do? I have a really bad memory, sorry guys. And we went down to, some of us went to visit the nearby Indians, because near our kind of house that we stayed in, that we like to call Love Mexico, that was the house name, literally, Love Mexico. And near Love Mexico, I'll just call the house Love Mexico from now on. Near Love Mexico, there was a town, well, that you couldn't even call it a town. It was pretty much a shanty house, or a shanty town, with just full of the Native Americans who used to live in Mexico. And some of them went there, some of our group went there, the middle school kids went down there, or the younger guys. And the older guys like me, because as I stated before, I'm going to be a senior in high school, so we went later the next day. But what they told us was pretty bad. They said that those Native Americans were living no more than the sizes of maybe our houses' kitchens. And most of us wouldn't know how bad it would be until we actually went the next day. That is, the high school students, the older kids like me. And it sounded really bad, but then the next day, that when we actually went, it was a lot worse than we had thought. But that's for another time, when the time is appropriate for me to talk about it. Anyways, we had set up, and then we went to visit different churches. We went to go minister to different Mexican churches that day, and it was honestly a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting it to be a lot of fun. Like, at my own church, I wasn't really too into like just praising and just singing those hymns and whatnot. If you guys are Catholic, I'd be talking about Mass right now, but I'm Protestant, more specifically Presbyterian. So honestly speaking, like I said, I'm not really into those singing songs and whatnot. But when we were down there, I don't know what happened, but I just really got into singing. And it just felt, I don't want to sound like too religious here, because obviously YouTube isn't necessarily the most appropriate place to put out to like kind of preach and everything. But I just want to put out there that it was a really good experience for me to kind of shift my views on a certain aspect of life. Even if it wasn't religious, I'd still talk about it, because it was something really important to me. The change that it had in me was significant enough for me to come on YouTube, come onto my channel, and include it as part of my commentary. And that's what I want you guys to hopefully get out of this, that I went down there to Mexico and did something that really changed me. And I just want you guys to know the feeling, or accept that you might not be so fortunate, like playing video games every day and live in these fabulous houses that you guys do. I mean, I might sound like some overrated preacher going on like, oh, you must repent, or you will die in 7 days, or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to let you guys know that you guys need to realize that there are certain things that we just don't really accept. And I just feel like I want you guys to know about those kinds of things too, because I've learned that we all need to realize something that is more important than just video games, or just shooting people and getting unbelievables and headshots like that. And that's just what I want to get to you guys. So after we had gone to these different churches and ministered to the children, and especially children, but the children and their parents and all the adults in general, we just went back home and had a blast. I mean, even though this was like a missionary, like a mission. Well, it was a mission, but like a really heavy-duty Christian mission, we still had our share of fun. Like, we came back home, we had card tournaments, we had lots of hours throughout the night that involved kids just screaming at each other like, how could I lose to you, and like these random card games. And we even had wrestling tournaments because when it was time to sleep, instead of sleeping, we held wrestling tournaments. The boys did actually, and the rest of us would just sit back and watch the other guys duke it out in these wrestling matches on those sleeping mattresses that the Mexican ministers had brought us. And it was lots of fun. We saw lots of good wrestling matches, and even though I'm not really into wrestling, I really enjoyed it too, and it was quite fun. And those kinds of wrestling tournaments went on for, I think, they went on both days, both the days that we were there. We were there for 3 days and 2 nights, so it wasn't that long, but it was still long enough for me to feel like I did lots of work, whether it be if you're religious, whether it be God's work, or if you're not entirely religious, or if you're not religiously inclined, I'm doing lots of volunteer work. So yeah. And one of the few memorable moments, well, actually I shouldn't say memorable moments, was the bathrooms. But this looks like this game is about to wrap up. I'm going to continue on with this commentary in another video, and looks like this this game will wrap up in about 10 seconds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this 38 and 24 snipers only game on Death Room. I know I've done lots of stupid things in this video, but and Ultra Kill, have a good day guys. Peace. See you later.